Hello, fans, and welcome to another episode of High and Tight. I'm John Nolan, the PBR Virginia DC content manager and the Northern Virginia scouting director. I'm going to run solo here to get things going on this week's episode. I am going to go ahead and run down our team of the week. We're going to recap the VHSL state tournament, who our state champions are. I'm going to name our final player of the week. And then talk a little bit about our monster tournament coming up this weekend, the Mid Atlantic Program Invitational, which I'm going to refer to as MAPI or MAPI the rest of the time because that's a mouthful of a name right there. So, Power 25, since that's something that everyone's asking, and now the season's over, we will get to it here. My guess is in the next couple of days, we will sit down and we will do a full on final look, just where everyone finished, full records, reevaluate where we had everyone, just giving ourselves a couple of days clarity here. Just like I said, I know we're in a busy time right now. We're doing something like 15 scouts days in 10 days, plus a couple of tournaments. So you'll have to excuse us. We will get you an end of the year Power 25. I promise you. It's just going to be probably next week or the week after, honestly, with state games next week. So, Power 25 coming. Keep your eyes open for it. But I can do our team of the week here. And our team of the week for week 13 is the James Madison Warhawks. The Warhawks captured their second Class 6 state championship in the last 3 years. They won in 2021 as well, with a 5-4 win over Westfield on Saturday. Madison actually finished as the region runners up, Westfield winning the region championship game between them. But Madison was able to sweep through the state tournament. They had a pretty comfortable quarterfinal win over West Springfield in a thrilling comeback win on Friday in the state semifinals. They were able to beat Colgan. They were beaten no hit through 5 innings. Got a hit in the top of the sixth. Chase Colgan starter Matthew Wesley. They were able to create 4 runs in that inning and rally for a 4-3 win over Colgan. And then they had yet another comeback win on Saturday in what was their 5th matchup of the season against Westfield. And they were able to come back and win that game 5-4. Bryce Eldridge closing it out for the Warhawks as they capture yet another state championship. So congratulations to our team of the week here for week 13, James Madison, your state champions in Class 6. And let's transition now over to our other state championship games in Class 5. These games took place at Riverside. You had Frank Cox, also a team that won a state championship in 2021, taking the Class 5 state championship with an 8-0 win over Independence. Cox knocking off Mills Godwin in the semifinals to take on Independence. In Class 4, you had Hanover with a 9-0 win over the Fighting Nolans of Smithfield. Their run coming to an end in the state championship game. They upset Tuscarora 1-0 in the semifinals after beating Mechanicsville, but they did not have enough for Hanover. Hanover repeats as the Class 4 champs. They won it last year in 2022, and so Hanover with this win as well. State champs there. Great catch to end the game out in right field by freshman uh, Brady Elrod. Sorry, I was almost going to call him his brother's name, who also made an almost identical catch apparently on Friday in the semifinals to seal the game. So a lot of great play up and down that Hanover lineup in that game. Basically, everyone contributed in some way, shape, or form. So congrats to the Hawks, Frank Cox and Hanover, by the way, Commonwealth Classic teams that got a chance to win another state championship this year. So again, just remember, teams in that field every year are going to be really, really good. Class 3, New Kent with the 5-3 win over Caroline. Caroline's run not only continuing through the region tournament, taking them to the state championship game, and then they lost a back and forth game with New Kent. So New Kent is your Class 3 state champions. New Kent with probably the upset of the entire state tournament, knocking off Liberty Christian. And then let's go ahead and move on to Class 2. Patrick County getting it done. Take out John Battle in the quarterfinals, and they were able to beat Poquoson 7-3 in the state championship to capture the Class 2 championship. And then in Class 1, you had Lebanon with yet another state championship, defeating Auburn 7-0. And I really want to take a half a second to throw a hat tip here to Nathan. I believe his nickname is Tater Phillips, 2024, who threw a complete game no hitter in the championship for Lebanon. So a no hitter for Nathan Phillips in the championship game. Lebanon, the state champs. So that is going to bring us to a wrap on the 2023 high school season. Um, Madison, Cox, Hanover, New Kent, Patrick County, Lebanon are your state champs. Joining our private school state champs that we celebrated earlier in the year: Cape Henry Collegiate, Stewart School, Walsingham Academy, St. Albans, the DCSAA, and St. John's College, the WCAC. Those are our champs for this year. Congratulations to all of them. Let's go ahead and move on now to our player of the week. Player of the week for week 13, final one of the 2023 season, is Johnny Farmello of Westfield High School. Farmello's a Virginia commit. He is a 2023, so he has graduated. He is an outfielder. He is currently the number 2 prospect in the state of Virginia, is getting a lot of hard look here in the Major League Draft. And I got a chance to see Farmello in the state quarterfinal game against Lake Braddock. And most of you have probably already seen all of this on social media at this point in time. But Farmello put the Bulldogs on his back in the state quarterfinals and basically carried them to victory in the late innings. Don't get me wrong, other guys had to get on base in front of him. There was some good pitching, some good defense to control Lake Braddock offense. But the fact of the matter was Farmello was instant offense. Westfield was trailing 3-1 in the bottom of the 5th with 1 out, a runner on second. Farmello came up and hit an absolute laser to dead center that I'm not sure if that ball was still going up on its way out to tie the game at 3. Fast forward to extra innings, and he was set to lead off in the bottom of the 8th. Again, this is a state quarterfinal game. It's win or go home. And on a 2-strike pitch, he hit a mammoth walk-off home run to right field to send Westfield back to the semifinals. His final stat line for the game was 2 for 3 with a walk, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, and a stolen base. So congratulations to Johnny Farmello, the 2023 Virginia commit from Westfield High School, our week 13 and final PBR VADC player of the week for the high school season. So, just to get a bow again on the high school coverage here, our staff was able to hustle and got out to see 183 games this season. We had someone's eyes, those hat tips, and obviously to Jason Burton, who did the bulk of that legwork. Jordan Jones, Cameron Eck, a couple of others doing a great job of helping us get to that coverage. So 183 games we had eyes on at some point this season. We saw 152 total teams throughout Virginia and DC. And we will strive to continue to grow that from one year to the next. And hopefully that number breaks 200 next year on the game count. And hopefully that team number is getting closer to 180. So that all being said, again, that's a wrap on our high school season now. And now that the high school season's over, I want to take a minute and talk about a monster tournament we have coming up this weekend. We'll have coverage of, and that is the MAPI, the Mid-Atlantic Program Invitational. This is the first year that we are running this tournament. There are over 50 teams across 4 age groups, 14U, 15U, 16U, and 17U. Will be descending on Richmond, primarily Henrico County, but we'll have games at a few other sites as well. We will have 10 game sites running at all times. These games are starting mid-afternoon on Thursday. The tournament itself will run up through Saturday night. Bracket play will start Saturday evening and carry through Sunday mid-afternoon. This tournament is going to be a monster. We're extremely excited about this. These are the best teams in the area. Some of the best players will be on the field. Going to be a ton of coverage. Again, like I said, 10 sites, 10 locations. Will be operating at all times. We're going to be flooding Twitter with all of this. We'll have all of our coverage as usual available at all of those fields. We will be putting out a story with details of locations. The schedules were just published, I believe, on Monday on the tournament page. So please make sure you're checking your schedules. It's looking like it's going to be a great weekend. I do want to take a minute real quickly here to talk about 5 players just in the 17U division that I am personally looking forward to hopefully seeing this weekend. I actually don't know which fields I'm going to be on yet. So who knows? I could be on 15U. But here we go. 17U, couple players that I just want to run through real fast here, just so you guys get a feel for some of the talent on the field. We've got 2025 Hanover shortstop TJ Woodson, who'll be playing up on Elite Squad's 17U team. I did see TJ in the Class 4 state championship game over the weekend. Caught a couple of barrels in that game, a single to right center. It was a really, really, really good swing. And then he hooked a double down the left field line as well. He's a line drive, all fields hitter right now. I like the frame. There's projection left to it. I think he's got a chance to stick it short. I like the actions, and the arm strength has a chance there. He made a couple of throws from the hole on Saturday that I liked. So hopefully getting to see a little bit more of him too would be good. Next guy I want to talk about real quickly is a guy that we saw show out in the Commonwealth Classic, and that's 2024 Mills Godwin right-handed pitcher Hank Pearsall. He's going to be playing for the Mid-Atlantic Orioles in the 17U division, and he is a VCU commit. He was up to 91 in the Commonwealth Classic during the high school season. He's got a 6'3 frame that's still got some room to add strength. It's got a pretty quick arm. The Commonwealth Classic was March 31st and April 1st. We're now into the middle of June. It's been 2.5 months deeper into his season. So I would honestly be curious to see if he's got a bit of a velocity tick up, if he is showing the 91s that he touched, or if there's a little more consistent, or if there's even more in there. So hopefully we get a chance to see Pearsall this weekend. Moving on here, I'm going to go to a guy who's playing for Richmond Braves Platinum, and that's 2024 Walsingham outfielder Luke Harlow. Harlow's an Ohio State commit. He was actually the Vista Division III Player of the Year this year. Harlow has a spectacular run tool. Ran, I think it was 3.75 in his home to first during preseason All State. We've had him as low as 6.65 and a 60. He actually moves that fast in game. He's not just a straight line runner. The kid can fly. It's a big time run tool. He's got some overall tools as well that are pretty loud. He's got some pop. He's got a chance to have a really, really big weekend. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. And again, that's Luke Harlow from Walsingham. He's an Ohio State commit playing for Richmond Braves Platinum this weekend. Fourth and second to last player that I'm going to talk about here in the 17U division is 2024 Nansemond River outfielder Mason Becker. He's playing on Team Coastal's 17U team. He is uncommitted right now. He's got an athletic, projectable 6'2 frame. I like the swing. It's pretty quick. And there's some bat speed there, a little bit of whip. He's got some levers, and he uses them to generate that speed. He's a sub-7 runner. He was up to 89 from the outfield. Shows some good arm strength out there during preseason All-State. He's a bit of a late bloomer who has a chance to really, really pop this weekend in front of coaches and could get his name really out there. And then the last guy that I want to talk about is actually a 2025 from Kempsville High School. It's coming off of a monster high school season. That's third baseman, right-handed pitcher Trent Sutrick, playing this weekend for the Tidewater Phillies 17U team. Trent is a lankier 6'3 frame. He's uncommitted. It's 6'3", 175 is what he lists himself as. His live exit velocity was 95 just this last weekend at the Phillies Scout Day that we had on June 10th. Shows some natural loft and power in his swing. He popped some home runs down the stretch, had a 2 home run game deep in the playoffs for Kempsville. So there are definitely some interesting things there to see, to get a chance to really sit on his swing for a weekend and to see what it looks like over 10, 12, 15 at bats would be really good. And again, that's Trent Sutrick, a 2025 third baseman, right-handed pitcher from Kempsville High School, playing for the Tidewater Phillies this weekend. So again, that's just a little look at some of the talent that's going to be on the field for the Mid-Atlantic Program Invitational, or MAPI, as we're probably going to call it here the rest of the time. So look for all of our coverage of that this weekend. Again, that is starting Thursday afternoon. In the Richmond area, if you want to get out and see some good quality baseball, we'll be at Henrico High Schools. We'll have some games at Randolph-Macon. We'll be at RF&P Park, as well as numerous other sites in the area. So without further ado, that's going to do it for us on this week's episode of High and Tight. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you out there.